德議員。
Last question seeking an oral reply, Professor Michael NGAI. Thank you, President. HKMA, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, officially granted stablecoin issuer licenses to 2 entities in April this year. Regarding the development and regulation of stablecoins, will the government inform this council? 1. As it is learned that the regulated Hong Kong dollar reference stablecoins will be launched progressively in mid to second half of this year, and given the keen market demand for regulated stablecoins, whether the authorities will actively coordinate with the licensed entities and major financial infrastructure institutions to enable the early launch of the stablecoins onto the market, if so, of the specific measures and the earliest estimated time of launch, if not the reasons for that. 2. Whether it knows HKMA's progress in processing other applications for stablecoin issuer licenses, as well as the long-term planning on the screening criteria and the timing for granting additional licenses in the future. And 3. How the government will promote the interconnectivity and synergistic development among stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, and tokenized assets to fully accelerate the digital transformation of Hong Kong's financial industry. Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury. President, the Stablecoins Ordinance came into effect in May last year to provide for a licensing regime for issuers of fiat reference stablecoins. Subsequently, the HKMA received 36 applications during the initial period. Following a comprehensive review of these applications in accordance with the Stablecoins Ordinance, the HKMA granted stablecoin issuer licenses to 2 entities in April this year. Having consulted the HKMA and SFC, the Securities and Futures Commission, my reply to the 3 parts of the question is as follows. 1. Prior to the official business launch, the above 2 stablecoin issuers licensed by the HKMA must complete the testing of technology platforms and systems, implement risk management measures including management and safekeeping of reserve assets, price stabilization mechanisms, redemption arrangements, technology security, and arrange human resources. The HKMA has maintained close contact with the licensed issuers to ensure that all pre-launch preparations are proceeding as planned. Based on the current business plans as proposed by the 2 licensed issuers, we expect Hong Kong regulated stablecoin to be launched as early as the middle of this year. 2. The HKMA has initiated engagement with the remaining license applicants. On the basis that these applicants fulfill the minimum criteria under the Stablecoins Ordinance, the HKMA will assess these applications against stringent standards in a consistent manner, primarily evaluating whether applicants are able to 1. Propose practical and feasible use cases that contribute to the development of the overall industry ecosystem. 2. Propose a robust and sustainable business operating model, including consideration of the risk management capabilities and experience of the applicants. And 3. Comply with the laws and regulations in Hong Kong and other jurisdictions. Meanwhile, the HKMA has communicated with the relevant license applicants that it has no definitive inclination regarding the future direction and timing of licensing at this stage. That will depend on various considerations, including whether the applications fulfill the criteria, market demand for stablecoins, actual use cases, and international development trends, including discussions on the regulatory aspect, as well as the operation and market reception of the licenses just granted after their business launch. Nevertheless, it should be stressed that given the risk associated with issuance activities, the need for user protection, as well as the capacity and sustainable development of the market, the licensing threshold will remain high. Should additional licenses be granted in future, the overall number of licenses will remain very limited. 3. The government issued in June last year, the Policy Statement 2.0 on the development of digital assets in Hong Kong, setting out our vision for a trusted and innovative digital asset ecosystem that prioritizes risk management and investor protection, while delivering concrete benefits to the real economy and financial markets. Key focuses of the Policy Statement 2.0 include expanding the suite of tokenized products, as well as advancing use cases and cross-sector collaboration, including exploring the use of stable coins as a payment tool. Under the policy direction of the Policy Statement 2.0, and together with the implementation of the Stablecoins Ordinance, the government and financial regulators are further driving the development and interaction of stablecoins, digital currencies, and tokenized assets. In particular, the use cases of the two licensed issuers include using regulated stablecoins to enable real-time on-chain tokenized asset transactions, unlocking opportunities for the tokenized asset market and enhancing market liquidity. In addition to issuing stablecoins, both licensed issuers have participated in the HKMA's pilot projects on central bank digital currencies and tokenized deposits, with collaboration partners comprising local telecoms, payments, and digital asset firms. They are well positioned to achieve greater synergy in exploring the potential and complementing the strengths of different new payment tools, as well as enhancing interoperability between these payment tools and tokenized assets. The HKMA will maintain close contact with the licensed issuers to ensure the implementation of the use cases as planned, while encouraging them to further explore the application of regulated stablecoins in the digital finance ecosystem to create value for real economic and financial activities. Also, with the support of the SFC as well as the financial and tech sectors, the HKMA has established the Ensemble Architecture Community. Together, they are taking forward work on promoting and implementing the local standards to support interoperability among central bank digital currencies, tokenized money, and tokenized assets. This is to promote the seamless movement of money and assets within the ecosystem, as well as to provide the industry with clearer direction. Building upon the successful outcomes of the Ensemble Sandbox, the HKMA launched in November last year Ensemble TX, enabling real-value transactions involving tokenized deposits and digital assets within a controlled pilot environment. The initial focus is on empowering market participants to use tokenized deposits in tokenized money market fund transactions and to manage liquidity and treasury needs in real time. At the same time, the SFC has been implementing the Aspire roadmap. This includes developing detailed and practical regulatory guidance to facilitate the application of tokenization in assets and financial products subject to regulatory clarity and controllable risks, thereby promoting the integration of traditional finance and Web3. Looking ahead, the government and financial regulators will build a clear and risk-based regulatory framework as guided by the principle of same activity, same risks, same regulation to promote the healthy, responsible, and sustainable innovation and development of the digital asset ecosystem in Hong Kong, thereby strengthening Hong Kong's status as an international financial center. Thank you. Professor NGAI. Thank you, President. I thank the administration for the reply as well as all the work it has done. The issuance of stablecoin issuer licenses signify that we have officially implemented the licensing regime. We've got positive feedback from the market. The issuance of stablecoins have to do with global competition. Currently, international financial centers around the world have been making deployment rapidly. If our stablecoins cannot be applied pragmatically, then the market may turn to other jurisdictions and we will lose the cutting edge. Apart from issuing licenses, as well as doing the coordinating work, will the government further promote stablecoins to attract quality and leading giants from the mainland as well as overseas to come to Hong Kong? Secretary, Professor NGAI correctly pointed out that digital asset development has gained traction around the world. Perhaps I will first talk about what we will do apart from issuing stablecoin issuer licenses. We will do the following. At the government level, we will very soon submit to LegCo the proposed regulatory framework on OTC as well as other market participants. We hope to have members' support on this. On the other hand, if you still remember, in the 2025 policy address, the government announced that the government together with the HKMA will, under the prevailing framework, issue tokenized bonds. Our view is that we have to be innovative, but at the same time, we have to break from the traditional mindset. We have to review under the existing framework how we can better foster the development of digital assets. So very soon, within this month, we will announce the company registry's plan to allow those on the register to use distributed ledger technology, and we will roll out guidelines in this regard. Also, by June, we will introduce our roadmap for amending the existing legislations, and that was announced in the 2026-27 budget. So we will review the existing legal framework and see how we can make further improvement so that we can better integrate digital assets with the traditional finance areas. Apart from what the government has been doing, on the other hand, financial institutions in Hong Kong has been doing their work. Apart from the Ensemble project, the HKMA as well as the SFC have been maintaining close contact with the relevant institutions to promote a wider adoption and use of digital assets. Apart from what we have been doing, we should not neglect the international development of digital assets. We have to move with the world. We have to understand that we see evolution of digital assets around the world. We should balance development as well as risk control, especially to prevent money laundering. So in this regard, the government, together with the financial regulators, have been participating in discussions held by international organizations. In this connection, Hong Kong does have a say. So apart from promoting the use of digital assets, we are striving to amend the existing legislations, and we are joining the discussions held by international organizations. Mr. Robert Lee, 2 stablecoin issuer licenses have been granted, and this is a positive message. To review what we have done, is there room for further improvement? That is, can there be better management? Hong Kong is at the forefront in terms of enacting the regulatory regime, and the government supports the development of Web3 and digital assets. On one hand, we have to ensure financial stability as well as whether there are any impacts posed by stablecoins on Hong Kong's monetary policy. On the other hand, we have to avoid giving people the impression that we are granting very few stablecoin issuer licenses. So we have to manage expectation. Can we do better in terms of our innovative finance policies? Secretary, I think Mr. Robert Lee made a very good point. We are seeing more and more new products and policies. How can we, before launching these products and policies, better guide the market so that market participants as well as the general public could have a better understanding of our policies and the relevant implications? Now, going back to the core of this question, it's about stable coins. All along, we have been trying to garner support from relevant sectors to amend the existing legislations. Through the government as well as financial regulators, we have been trying to guide the market on various occasions to let the market know that stablecoins is not a speculative instrument but a payment tool. So we've been doing work on various fronts. On our social media platform, we've been talking about this, and financial regulators have been posting articles to tell people about this. Also, this is not just about the nature of stable coins. We have to look at how many applications we receive, the application progress, and how many licenses are issued at the end. As mentioned, this is something new, and we believe that people have certain expectations on this. We hope that the HKMA will manage people's expectations. That's why it's been communicating with the license applicants. Also, as we move towards a more mature stage, the HKMA will tell the market how many licenses will be issued and explain to the public why not many licenses are issued. Mr. Robert Lee raised a very clear question, and we echo Mr. Lee's views. On one hand, we hope to bring new elements to the market, but on the other hand, we also hope to better manage market's expectation. Apart from our work on promoting stable coins, we will continue to adhere to this spirit and take forward our work. Mr. Holden Chow. Thank you, President. Last August, the stablecoins ordinance took effect and 2 licenses have been issued to 2 major entities. I think application scenarios are key. This is because it has to do with whether stablecoins could be widely adopted. The major reply has touched on this. It talks about tokenized assets, RWA, real-world assets, as well as tokenized IPs and so on. Will the government make use of stable coins in these areas so as to help promote economic growth? Secretary, what Mr. Chow said aligns with our direction. As we roll out new financial products and tools, we hope to contribute to our economy, and we hope that there can be application scenarios. 2 entities have been granted the stablecoin issuer licenses. They have published statements as well as descriptions of their plan. And we see that they already have concrete plans on how they can harness the issued license. They will, at both retail and wholesale levels, promote the adoption of stable coins. In particular, they propose to make use of stable coins in payment as well as digital asset transactions. These are all included in their plans. Also, apart from adoption of stable coins locally, they also hope to make use of stable coins in cross-boundary scenarios. And this is one consideration we take into account as we approved the licenses. We considered whether stablecoins could benefit the market and could see application scenarios. So moving forward, we will continue to adhere to these principles. We will continue to communicate closely with the 2 entities that are granted the licenses. We hope that they can take forward their plan. We hope that as they collaborate with the relevant institutions, they can really implement the plan. We're talking about 2 stablecoin issuer licenses only, but we believe that we will be able to accumulate experience so that we can be prepared to move forward. Next, Mr. Hong Kam-in. President, I'm concerned about the transparency of regulation over the 2 licensed entities as well as public education. Will the HKMA disclose to the public the audit report showing the reserve asset of the 2 licensed entities? Also, are there plans for the government to enable the public to check the information of the stablecoin issuers? Secretary, regulation is important. The member is concerned about the disclosure of stablecoin issuers. Indeed, every month they have to disclose their asset arrangement to the public. In case something happens and people would like to redeem stablecoins, they would be able to do so. So in our daily coordination work, we have already taken this into account. When we came up with the regulatory regime, we had already taken this into account. That's why we can take forward the regulation effectively now. Dr. Eric Yim. the stablecoins ordinance has taken effect. However, the relevant OTC institutions are not being regulated, so non-license holders have been able to sell stablecoins to retail investors. There is a gray area. Will the government amend the relevant regulations so that the downstream sectors of the stablecoin market can also be regulated? Secretary. Thank you, President. We are indeed working on this. That is, we want to incorporate OTC into the digital asset regulatory regime. If you may recall, we have been doing various work to build a digital asset regulatory framework that meets our requirement. On one hand, we have the stablecoins ordinance. On the other hand, we also have the virtual asset trading platform regulatory regime. Moving forward, we want to incorporate OTC and relevant products into the regulatory regime. Here, I hope that we can get the support from members so that we can take forward the legislative exercise. Next, Dr. Johnny Ng. Over the past decade or so, stablecoins have been circulated around the world, and the market is valued at about 2 trillion Hong Kong dollars. In Hong Kong, this is relatively new. As the government fosters the building of the ecosystem, how will it support the public organizations to use stablecoins? Secretary. This is about drawing a line on integrating a competent government and an effective market. We have the relevant policies and regulatory regimes in place to regulate the market. But at the same time, we want to emphasize that stablecoins is just a tool to foster market development and innovation. So in the future, we hope that through the government's effort, we can provide more convenience to the market so as to enrich the product and scenarios we have in the market. As to how we can do so, we will continue to study this. This is the end of the oral question session.